Hey, true believers. Chris Mack coming at you today with Star Wars Darth Vader Issue 1. Now, there are a few things that I will say that's going to chap my hide, not necessarily about this issue, but just Star Wars in general since it went under Disney. But this issue by Charles Soule was very well written. Now, what do I mean by why does this book chap my hide? From the fact that this is some good storytelling. I loved Charles Soule's run on Daredevil, and I like what he kind of did in taking liberties of going directly after Revenge of the Sith. But here, this is what I'm going to say that first and foremost irritates the crap out of me, is the fact that after Disney acquired Star Wars, everything from the last, God, how many decades Dark Horse wrote, out the window. Extended universe. And yet that's kind of where they pulled like the return of Palpatine, etc., so forth. I kind of wish that they would have built upon it instead of just going, oh, we're just going to kick it to the curb. Now, the other thing that irks me is that instead of getting like the Kenobi film, etc., so forth, it would have been interesting to have a Vader series. Because, Obi-Wan is sort of, my biggest beef with the show was the fact that, according to A New Hope, Episode 4, Vader and Obi-Wan were never supposed to meet until that time on the Death Star. Obi-Wan never abandoned his post on Tatooine to go save Leia, and it really screws the whole canon up, in my opinion. Now, if they would have taken this book and kind of used it as a script and made a Vader show instead, this would have been great. Because here, instead of that whole no, which felt very underwhelming in the film, we get this buildup of no. We see Palpatine smiling, no. Padme being choked, no. And then just a gorgeous splash page of him going, no. And then the added, and this would have been great in the film, is the added bonus of him throwing Palpatine back like that. That would have been just an absolutely great added effect in the film. But at the time, I guess CGI just wasn't there. But here, awesome work. Even though you can kind of tell from the work that it's 3D models, I'll give it a pass in this book because the colors really help pass that off from the juxtaposition of the dark, grungy blacks and grays of the Sith to just the explosion, and they just a little add of color there. It's great. Now here, we see Vader in contemplation. You told me you could save her. In your rage, you chose a different path. Padme is dead, my friend. Even the power of the dark side cannot bring her back. But in her death, she's given you a gift. Pain. Now, you must choose. Will you accept that gift? Will you use it? Or will you die? It's a great moment with Palpatine there. Just woo! And then he just proceeds to attack Vader, and he goes, "Where's your lightsaber, Lord Vader? Use its power. Defend yourself." Lost in the fight with Obi-Wan, he took it. No. Sorry. Back to seriousness here. He goes, "That blade belonged to another. A Jedi. You are a Sith." I realize this has been a traumatic time for you. But if you touch me again with the Force, I will finish what Kenobi could not. And with that, an understanding is forged. And here we see everyone buying into the paranoia and the hype, saying, "Never again will we fear the Jedi. Through the grace of our Emperor Palpatine, we were saved from their treachery. The fools hid the knowledge they found uncomfortable." Sidious talking about the Jedi Council. They could not face the darker truths, and they paid the price. A red saber is no different from any other than except it has been made to bleed. And then we get this juxtaposition of seeing the clone troopers taking all the fallen Jedi's lightsabers. The Jedi are gone. The Emperor saw through their separatist plots, their lies. He survived their attempt to assassinate him, and now at last, we are safe. And here, this is where we kind of get the backstory on the Kyber crystals. The crystal from any Jedi's saber will do. As you know. And I hate, it's one thing in terms of storytelling, I hate when you say, as you know. Well, we don't, so you don't need to say it. You could have just said, instead of saying as you know, you could have just said, the Kybers are alive in their way. Like any living thing, they can feel pain. Through the dark side, you must forge your pain into the crystal. And when at last the agony becomes more than it can stand, a beautiful crimson, the color of your rage. And so this guy, again, building up the hype. An age of freedom. Freedom. Now, none of them understand. None but you and I. And so the rest of this issue is Vader essentially kind of having to go and forge his lightsaber like a Jedi would, except he has to go and take a Kyber crystal from a Jedi that they have not slain yet. And so they don't give the name of this planet, they just call it the Mid-Rim. And here, visual storytelling, Vader's dropped off, searching, using all the different infrareds of his visor. Now, Palpatine says that there was supposed to be a ship left for him, but apparently it's been taken. And he comes across it, and someone's saying, oh, even though this ship's encrypted, we can sell it. And Vader says, that ship is mine. And we get a great battle. And what I like here is we all know Vader to be this big, badass guy, right? And we all know Anakin is a Jedi Knight. But here, he's just coming off being left for dead, having to get used to his armor, and someone actually pops a shot at him. And so you can see that even though we know who Anakin is, we don't really know who Darth Vader is yet. And so we see the inexperience. And even though the guy says, got him, we see that he's not a person to be trifled with. So as the book goes, we just see how Vader became who he is. And it's a really interesting take. And I kind of wish, in retrospect, that I would have gotten issue 2 along with this one, because I'm like, damn, I want more now. Because you're thinking, oh, there's all this book left, right? This goes into the third thing that pissed me off about this book. We have all this extra pages, and we get this really boring story of Vader talking about wanting to go into his meditation chamber, all the admirals failing Vader. I grow tired of your incompetence, Admiral murmur. As I grow tired of your excuses. And it's literally maybe 5 to 10 pages of him choking different admirals. And just the whole goofy Tex Avery style of this, I was like, really? We don't need that. We really, really didn't need that. But ignoring that and the other 3 things I said, chat my hide, this was an excellent book. I kind of wish that the artwork was less 3D model-y. Like, I wish it was more this style, but I know that would take forever, the demands on comics nowadays, but that would have been a great style to have. So with that said, guys, if you've enjoyed this comic book, please first and foremost support your local comic shop and see if you can get your hands on this copy or, a collected trade. If you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you won't mind using the Force and hitting that fancy little subscribe bell, alert bell, next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys will get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with you all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.